Golf Life Nation, I'm down here with Wyatt Miller from Slingshot, and I gotta tell you, Wyatt, professional windsurfer.
Yeah, for many years.
For many years, like doing things I can't even conceptualize. And I have it on good authority because I've seen it. He's a hell of a wingfoiler as well. Now, when I take my tips, I like taking my tips from somebody like Wyatt who knows what he's talking about. And in this video, we're gonna go over a couple tips for wingfoiling. We're gonna talk about how best to pump up onto your foil. We're gonna talk about the tack, and then we're gonna talk about acceleration into your jibe. So Wyatt, let's start with the basic of the fundamentals. Somebody's out there, they're slogging, you want to pump up onto that foil, but A, it takes a lot of work. If it's a light wind day, you may drag that tip in there. Like, what are the tips that people should think about for getting up onto foil?
Yeah, so pumping up onto foil, it's actually a lot like windsurfing. I feel like there's some of the same problems you'll see with people. So the first thing is that you'll see people just hold the wing straight downwind of them and just kind of flap the backhand straight downwind of them. That's not really it. You want to think of it more as a circular motion of pumping, forward, out, in, and back, forward and out, in and back, less than just holding it straight downwind of you and pumping. The other really big thing is that it's kind of like rowing a boat. When you're rowing a boat, you want to reach your oar really far forward and then pull the oar back to propel your boat further and faster in the water. It's the same thing. We're trying to get water flow over the front wing to create lift. We're trying to get board speed. So if you think about it like rowing a boat, the further I can reach that wing out, or my oar out in front of the boat, and then pull back towards the tail while pushing the board forward with my feet, that's gonna get more water flow over the wing and help you get onto foil. So what I like to do is reach way out towards the nose of the board and out to downwind and pull back and in, and then forward and out and back and in, forward and out, back and in. That's really the key. You don't want to just hold it straight downwind of you and pull towards yourself, because you're not reaching that oar really far forward and dragging that water back to propel you forward.
Hello, Wyatt, that was great. Fantastic tip. Now the tack, there's a couple things about the tack. A, when should you try a tack? Because you do get a little precarious on the foil. And then the next thing is, you know, when you come around that tack for the first couple times that you try it, you may stall out a little bit. So there's a couple tips right here.
So a lot of times when I'm teaching, I like to focus on what not to do, because sometimes it's easier to try to not do something than it is to actually do some other tactics. So the biggest thing I see with people having a hard time when they're just trying to learn tactics and like, I just can't get it, is that people are switch stance and they're have both hands on the wing and they're sheeted in, and they're trying to give themselves a little head start by edging upwind first while they're still sheeted in. And that just kind of kills, because you're sheeted in, it kills your ability to make that smooth carve and starts to get you to lose speed. So instead, I don't worry at all about going upwind when I'm sheeted in. I try to sheet in and get some nice speed while I'm going across the wind or on a slight broad reach. And then I'm gonna actually release the backhand first and grab that front handle and start to carve while I am not sheeted in at all. That way the wing is nice and light, it comes over my head easier, and I'm really strong arming that wing over my head into the wind after I've switched my hand. But you should have plenty of glide without sheeting in to make that whole turn in the tack. And if instead you're sheeted in, trying to cheat a little bit and get a head start into that tack while you're sheeted in, it's actually gonna hinder you, it's not gonna help you. So go a little bit broad reach, pick up some speed, release that backhand before you start to turn upwind, grab that front handle, and now start carving, and then really hard passing that wing above your head, and you're at the new side. But don't try to stay sheeted in and edge into it and think you're gonna be able to cheat some in before you release that backhand. That's not gonna help. You've got plenty of glide to make it through that turn. Go ahead and release that backhand before you start turning upwind.
Now, Wyatt, one other thing that I think is really the fundamentals of having a great time, whether it's a downwinder, whether it's hitting a wave face and really position yourself well, is to accelerate, especially if you're on a high aspect wing that has a higher stall speed. As I go into that jibe, I really like to accelerate and pull down sometimes with the bottom of that wing to shoot myself through there. What do you think is the best way to go speed generation into a jibe, whether you're going on a downwinder or whether you're just connecting to that next wave?
So yeah, it's that whole slingshot effect when you're going into a jibe, or you're just gonna try to launch yourself onto a swell for a downwind ride and try to meet that wind speed. So if you don't have kind of full speed going into a jibe or going into a swell ride, then there's a lot of pull in the wing. The second you can match the wind speed going off the wind, then your wing is gonna get really light and maneuverable. So you're gonna wanna be sheeted in and you're looking for that swell to jibe on. And then as you start to turn, I like to sheet in, sheet in, sheet in. And then as I go into my turn and roll onto my toes, I pull in and back on the wing so that it jets me to, so I'm matching the same speed as the wind. And then with that wing back, as you just propelled yourself to the same speed as the wind, the wing's gonna go really nice and light, and then I can extend forward to start carving through my jibe and get that wing out of my way. But it is true, you wanna sheet in, get some speed, get some speed, get some speed, and then as you roll under your toe, pull in and back for that little slingshot effect. You're gonna match the same speed as the wind, so there won't be any more pull in the wing, and you can push it forward and up to look under it and make your turn.
Wyatt, here's the last thing. You know, I just thought about something. I should have been standing in front of you because I probably look shorter behind you. Because I mean, you're taller. Well, anyways, regardless. So the other thing that I think is kind of the WingFoil dream. I mean, it really is. It is, I think, one of the greatest feelings. And that is when you take that wing and you get it to your hip, and then you're just on the pure dynamic of foil speed going down a wave. It takes a little while for people to get to the point where they feel free to do that. Like when you think about the steps, just to kind of learn to be able to put that wing at your hip and really enjoy that wave ride. What do you think the first thing is somebody should think about?
You're totally right. That is the goal. You know, that's the beauty of winging, is getting rid of all of the power in the wing, which you can't really do in a kite and you can't totally do on a windsurfer. But because we can hold that leading edge handle, you really can get rid of all of the power and just focus on your wave ride. The first thing is to be really nice and centered on your board and be standing over your front foot. That way the board is going to have the most amount of glide and you're going to be fully balanced. But the problem that a lot of people have is that they have a hard time getting to this nose handle and back. And one of the biggest factors is overhanded versus underhanded grip with your front hand. You can see here with an overhanded grip, when I release my back hand, my elbow can't drop very well. My arm's kind of in the way, and so it makes it a farther distance and harder to reach that handle. If before I try to go grab the nose handle, I go for an underhanded front grip, now my whole arm and elbow can drop down, making it much closer and a lot, less of a distance to grab that front hand. It's a huge difference. If you just watch overhanded grip, it's really, I can't quite get there. My arm just doesn't want to drop. Whereas an underhanded grip, oh, it's just right down there by my hip, really easily. I can move my arm just the way your arm moves there, grab that front handle, cruise, and then really, don't leave it back here and be going onto your back foot to try to get back to the main handle. Instead, use that nose handle to pull it from your hip back up high so that it's easy to grab that front handle again. But definitely, it's a lot easier to go from the normal handles to the nose handle if you have an underhanded front grip.
Wyatt, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I think one of the hardest things for weekend warriors or other people is just get time on water. One of the best things you can do is come down here, Pro Windsurf La Ventana, spend time with Wyatt and Tyson and the rest of the team and get day over day so you get some repetition. Each year we do a half-life trip down here where we basically take all the casitas. You can check out other videos of all the places. We fit a lot of people here. Come on down with us, get multiple days in a row. We will next level your wing foiling capabilities. I think we can guarantee that. We can guarantee that.
Yeah, man, it's windy every day. Life is easy. You stroll down the beach to food.
That's right.
Cars and quads. I mean, it's easy to get a lot of hours in the water down here.
Not to mention when you're done, there's an open bar here and you can learn and understand what the Baja fog is. So thank you so much, Wyatt. Thank you for checking out this video. We'll talk to y'all soon.